Hello, this is Daniel Mart, and today I'm gonna be reviewing the new religious movie Son of God. This one came out yesterday, along with Nonstop, which I will be watching next week. So stay tuned for that. So yeah, Son of God is a new religious movie, and it's kind of the spin-off movie of I believe it was on the History Channel. The Bible miniseries was on the History Channel. It's kind of like a spin-off movie. Yeah, I actually missed the miniseries. It's like 8 episodes, 8, 10, 12 episodes, something like that. I actually missed it. Well, not that I missed it. I knew it was there, but I never got around to seeing it. So I guess I missed it. But when they announced they were doing this movie, I got excited. So I thought it would be interesting, and I actually didn't realize it was a spin-off movie. Off the miniseries up to a couple weeks ago. So go figure. But besides the point, I'm gonna be reviewing Son of God. So before I begin, you know, I'll give you guys a couple of seconds who haven't seen it yet. To watch it somewhere. Depending when you're watching this, maybe go to the theaters, or because I actually watched this on premiere day, so the 28th. I'm doing a review the next day, so on the 1st of March. Um, depending when you're watching this, um, you know, I assume the movie's gonna be there till like the end of March, so go watch it in theaters. If it's still in March, and if it's not, maybe get it on DVD or Blu-ray or something, Netflix. If it's like April or something. I don't know. Depends when you're watching this. But yeah, besides the point, go watch it. I'll give you a couple seconds for those who haven't watched it. To go watch it somewhere, whatever. Because there may be spoilers. So, couple seconds starting now. Okay, so 10 seconds as usual. I already gave it to you guys. So for those who still haven't watched the movie and are still here watching this video, don't complain down below or, in the comment section or messaging me that I didn't give you a fair warning, because I did. So as I said before, Son of God, the new religious film, is kind of based off the Bible. The Bible miniseries that was on the History Channel, if I'm not mistaken. Um, so yeah, as usual, I'll do a quick synopsis, likes and dislikes, and then I'll rate it. Basically, Son of God is basically a biopic, well, not biopic, but biography of Jesus. Um, More or less from a little bit before when he met Peter, which is like his best friend or his main apostle, or his right hand man. Um, Basically up to his resurrection. Basically, um, yeah, you know, you see a little bit of when he was born, then kind of skips to him just when he's meeting Peter, and then basically goes on to his resurrection, and goes back, goes to heaven after the 40 days, and then comes back down to earth to tell Matthew when he's like, I'm gonna assume at 50 years old. Matthew, one of his apostles, when he was like 50 years old, I'm gonna assume, um, that he will eventually reach heaven. So yeah, basically the majority of this movie is seen through. I mean, the most of the parts of this movie are narrated, and they're narrated through Matthew the apostle. Um, Matthew was one of his apostles who was a tax collector, who basically wanted a second chance, and Jesus gave it to him. Yeah. Now, I haven't read the Bible, and I'm honestly not planning to anytime soon. Maybe read some of the passages, but besides the point. But I do know a good portion of the passages, the main ones, and this movie does a real good job in demonstrating these the main, like, the iconic or significant passages from the Bible, such as his birth, when he met Peter, when he walked on water, and so did Peter, when Judas betrayed him. The Last Supper, I believe it's called. The resurrection. Um, when he was put against who would the people would rather save? Jesus or Brunus, Burris? I forget, Bruno, something like that. Another criminal, basically. Basically they took these iconic passages from the Bible and they put it into this movie, which you really don't have to read the Bible for you to understand them, and they do a very well and good job at doing this. Also the actors, I think, in my opinion, they did a phenomenal job acting in their respective parts. Um, yeah. Now there's one character. I don't know who he is. Because I'm pretty sure they mentioned his name. I just didn't understand or hear it. He's basically like a bishop or something, like a priest. He's like the right hand man of Pilates, Pontius Pilates. Um, he's like the right hand man, and he also has he has this like archbishop or something like that. Like that's his friend or companion or whatever. In my opinion, that the actor who portrayed him, I think he could have done better, in my opinion. Basically, I think he was the weakest actor out of all of them. Also Judas, his actor was pretty weak, but he still did he did the part well. He did okay at the end. He could have done better, but for what he was given, he did okay. Now, yeah, now this movie isn't meant to have a lot of action scenes or stuff like that, but the few action scenes they do have, which is usually when there's like rebellions or rebels or stuff like that, revolts. They do a very good job, and it's very well done. The choreography and all that, in my opinion, is very well done. So the action scenes are pretty decent. um One of the major problems I have with this movie though is just the way it was edited. I mean, at points it was edited great. I had no problems with the editing. How it went from one scene to another. But then there was other times in the movie where the editing was just terrible, and it didn't seem natural. So the editing went back and forth on that. So that I had a huge problem on that, in my opinion. Um, yeah, the writing was good. So that's good. For the most part, I mean, it's also based on the Bible. So yeah. Um, I mean, that's really all I have to say. The acting, the writing, that was good. The some of the few action scenes they had, they were all done, great in my opinion. But you did have a few weak actors here and there, and the editing was a bit bad. Also here and there. Um, yeah. Now, from the Bible, I think they missed two pretty iconic scenes or passages or whatever. And both of them were during the crucifixion time. Um, one was when there's this lady, and she wiped Jesus' face, and then the rag she used had an imprint of Jesus. They missed that part, and also when he was crucified, there's these other two criminals next to him, and one of them said, "Remember me in heaven." And then Jesus is like, "Don't worry, my son, you're gonna be there in heaven with me." While the other one was like, "Why don't you just save yourself? Um, why don't you save yourself and us?" And in the Bible, he gets his eyes eaten out by a crow, which they also omitted that from the film. They omitted those two scenes, and the first one with the rag, the lady cleaning Jesus' face. That's a pretty iconic passage or section in the Bible. But the other scene, I mean, yeah, it's not really that iconic, but it would have been nice to see that. So that is kind of and that does take down some points, but not a lot. So kind of sucks that they took out those two parts from the Bible that they didn't put in the movie. But whatever. What can you do? Maybe they're deleted scenes when the movie comes out on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever. Which I will get. It's such a good movie in my opinion. Yeah, I totally have to disagree with several movie critics that are giving it negative reviews. Um, it's a pretty decent film in my opinion. Pretty good, great film. Um, yeah. Now for the rate on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, and 6 being decent, I'd give it. Yeah, I will give Son of God an 8 out of 10. Some of the characters were weak, and the editing was sometimes good, sometimes bad. And some iconic parts of the Bible were omitted from the film, but the acting and the writing and the choreography and the settings and the just usually for the most part everything else, settings, also wardrobe, they were good. And another thing, I never talk about the music or the scores in a film, but this is the first time where the score in a film actually kind of intrigues me and makes the film a bit more interesting. So, in my opinion, this is one of the few films where the score actually, seems good. In my opinion, because half the time I don't even pay attention to the scores in a movie, but this is one of the few times and one of the few movies where I actually do pay attention to the scores. So I have to give them credit for that too. So 8 out of 10 is what I will give it. Um, So yeah, now in the comments below, if you've seen it already, Son of God, what do you think of it? Do you think it should be more than 8, less than 8? The rate. And did you watch the Bible miniseries? I actually missed it, but I will try to find it on a DVD on it. If it's already out or YouTube or whatever. I try to find it. I actually do want to watch it to see how it is. But did you watch the miniseries and what did you think of it? Too. Comment down below. And what do you think of the movie? More than 8, less than 8? Comment that down below. Also subscribe. Also do other movie reviews. Also review comic books and TV shows. So stay tuned for that. If I do get my hands on the Bible, I may actually review the miniseries. I don't know. Share on Instagram, Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, Vine, or whatever you guys prefer. And that's basically it for now. This is Daniel Mart signing off.